It is election season, and if you're going online to find information about the candidates, you're going to want to make sure that what you are hearing and seeing is actually real. Artificial intelligence is growing, and there's a rising concern for deep fakes making its way onto your social media feeds. So to explain that issue, I'm joined by University of Houston Law Assistant Professor and expert in the law of artificial intelligence, Peter Salib. Thank you for joining me this morning.
Hi, thanks so much for having me.
So let's go ahead and recap for anybody who might not have a good understanding of deep fakes. Explain what they are and why people really can't even trust their own eyes and ears anymore.
Yeah, so deepfake is a word we use to describe basically any image or video that's created either all or in part using AI tools. And a deepfake is a way of generating an image maybe that doesn't exist at all, or of altering image that does exist. And making one can be as simple as typing a few sentences about what you'd want the image or the video to depict, and then the AI can sort of do the rest for you.
Where are people going to spot these deepfakes? I mean, is it just on social media?
Yeah, I think the main place to look out for these kinds of fake images is probably online. The tools that you need to make them are pretty widely available, so the kind of thing that anybody with a Twitter or a Facebook account can make and put online. And so I think that's the main place where you should really be vigilant to try and figure out whether the stuff you're seeing is real.
Well, let's get down to it. What's the real concern here? I mean, is it a concern that, say, we'd see Trump or Harris saying something that they never really said?
Yeah, that's totally possible to create with AI tools that exist today. Really convincing videos of, say, a political candidate saying something they never said, or doing something they never did. And now, of course, in the legitimate news media like KPRC, you have procedures for checking to make sure the things that you're broadcasting are real, but those procedures don't exist online. And so, this is the kind of place where that these images could spread very quickly and maybe convince people before we figure out whether they're real.
And that's what people should understand is the big deal about people calling for regulation of AI so that things like that wouldn't happen, because what would be the danger of AI, say, influencing politics?
Well, look, you want people to vote based on the truth and not based on things that are made up or lies. And so insofar as deepfakes are a way of convincing people that candidates did or said things that they never did, well, that's not how democracy is supposed to work. Now, I will say, it's not a new technology to be able to put things on the internet, including images and videos that aren't real. Deepfakes just make it easier. And so I do think that social media users and voters in general are getting more savvy and have been getting more savvy for 20 years about what they consume online.
Yeah.
And so
I think
I'm not
they
sure this
are,
is
but it's getting more sophisticated.
Different scenario we'll find ourselves in. It's sort of a continuum from Photoshop onward.
Yeah, that's what I mean by sophisticated, is it's just getting so much more convincing. How would you say that we can avoid falling for deep fakes? Is there something that we can look for that would be a signal that it's not real?
The deepfakes are now getting quite convincing, so I don't think it's a reliable strategy to just try to look at the image or look at the video and say, does this look real? It will look real, even if it's a deepfake. I think the best thing to do is to go check, official news sources. Go check your local news stations. Go check in the newspapers, and if they are also reporting what you're seeing in social media posts online, well, then that's a much stronger indication that what you've seen is something that actually happened. And if they're not, then you should, I think, be quite suspicious.
Yeah, and I can guarantee you these are conversations that we're having in our newsroom on a regular basis. Just the struggle with how fast AI is moving and us trying to maintain our integrity here. Is there anything that lawmakers are doing, though, to stop the bad AI from taking over?
So there are a number of efforts to regulate, especially frontier AI systems. The ones that are making most progress in places like California are actually not focused on deepfakes. They're focused on making sure that sort of the next generation of frontier AIs, the things that will replace say GPT-4, aren't able to, say, assist people in committing terrorist acts, which is another serious concern that I am interested in. The deepfake front is complicated because when you start regulating the production of images and videos, you start getting into a territory where the First Amendment is going to have a fair amount to say. And so it's actually quite complicated to regulate deepfakes. But of course, ordinary laws forbidding, for example, fraud, in fact, would apply to people who create deepfakes to try and trick somebody into doing something that is sort of against their interests. So we do have some law that works to control this now. The question is just how easy it is going to be to enforce it against the people who are actually making the fake images or videos.
Yeah, well, still a lot of progress to be made on that front. For now, as you mentioned, those of us in the news industry are taking a great responsibility trying to weed out what is real and what is not. But thank you, Peter Salib. We appreciate your time this morning, and that was really good insight.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.